Prime Minister, in the Balkans, there's a saying that one man's hero is another man's war criminal. Could you comment?
Good evening. It's an honor for me to be with you tonight. To answer this question, I'm in trouble. To answer this question, I'm in trouble as I present a case myself of being in a war, of presenting a cause that is not liked by everybody. But I think after some years or some decades, people will judge it different. So that way of answering probably fits well while the conflicts or war is happening. But in the time, people will always realize that there was people who stood for the right cause and those that didn't. So you can stand for a right cause as well in peace, with other means, as you can stand for the right cause in war. And that's the answer.
And could you tell us why the International Criminal Court indicted and tried you for war crimes?
That's again a difficult answer. I'm going to sweat more tonight. It's the Kosovo war in itself is very special. We became as the last one of the wars inside former Yugoslavia. As pre-us, it happened Bosnia and Croatia, and we was the last one. So let's say 8 years after Croatia started. In our war, situation was, or our position was very specific. With other republics of former Yugoslavia, a president of that federation would insist that they stay in the federation. For ourselves, he would insist that we are his, not just of federation. He would like us inside his republic. So he was much committed, and he had done all what he thought he needs to do to keep us under his regime. Being like that and having NATO intervention as well in our war, I think this is all different. This is not a situation that we have seen somewhere or to compare about. So every time I answer a question, I have to explain that it's a very specific case. And nobody thought during '99 when half of our population of 2 million, half of us, 1 million people, had to leave their houses. And by that, including babies, including eldest people, and not just leaving their houses in peace, but letting some of their families being killed, and seeing the fire going on everywhere, in the living places and elsewhere. So nobody thought that in that conflict there is two parties. Actually, it was one party. It was a regime that was going crazy, as it happened before, and there was victims of that regime. And there was 2 million people, including us, the fighters, that we thought we should do something, as much as we could, but we should do something. We shouldn't just watch that and leave. And after time, political balances has changed a little bit, and probably as well beliefs of people. So I became for the second time actually a victim, I would say, of misjudgment, especially from the official prosecutor, because I don't think, or if she knew the whole truth, then it's a real question why. But I always want to believe that there was probably a misjudgment, that I should be a case of law. The first time I answered counts due to the law, I was acquitted, then I was recalled actually in the same counts. So this is a very strange case.
What we call double jeopardy in the United States.
Yeah, and it's unique. It didn't happen before, not in that trial, but in international trials, neither. So it's unique. When once been asked what that means, I thought I have a right to say I felt that I was the coin for balancing some of the realities in Balkans.
And what factors do you think played for your acquittal?
Oh, in this, I have no difficulty to answer. The truth. The truth of my life, the truth of what I went through, the truth of what has happened. I knew the truth. Many of us, we knew. It's not because of the belonging that I belong to a nation, but because we knew what the truth was. It's difficult to say that a war is clean, because if you say that war, then you don't know what's a war, or you have not much information about wars. But it's a very special situation how a war happened in our south. It was villagers, students, or people who hadn't had military formation, who hadn't had an idea that they're going to once fight. It's people who somehow thought they cannot flee. They have to stand for their lives and for their rights, human rights. Don't forget, it was monist society. There was one party government for 50 years. So when I grew, until in 99, I lived under one party system. Sometimes it's very interesting. That's why I have sympathy, let's say, for other peoples in other countries. I don't understand people that has born and grown up and became 30 and they never saw anything except one regime or one name. So it was monist, plus the regime was very aggressive towards us as an ethnic community, actually. It was as well ethnic.